Alright, well, I'm walking to week 2 of, well, they've been doing it forever, but I just found out about it. It's a peace vigil that I believe C3 organizes, but maybe it's a separate organizer. I think it's like Stand for Peace Michigan or something, but anyway, it's a peace vigil that they've decided to just kind of convert to being for Black Lives Matter protests, but it's also in support of, you know, peace in general. Just standing up, you know, no peace, no justice, no peace, K-N-O-W, no justice, and just standing up for what's right. And I think it's that, I guess the reason I've been so moved to be a part of it, even though, oh, my shirt matches this sign by this house. Even though I've been moved to be a part of it, even though I am typically afraid of people, uncomfortable with anything that could have any potential, even the slightest potential for conflict. Yay! Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. I wanted to see where this one was from. It says signsofjustice.com. I like it. So, and I know kindness is everything started this, but I like that additional sentence. I mean, justice is tricky, and a lot of this is so much bigger than my ability to understand or my ability to maintain care for these issues. I like to blame that on my PTSD and lifetime of trauma and trauma healing, but I'm sure there are other reasons. Yeah, sometimes things are just too big for you, too scary, too intimidating. That yellow house over there is where those giant dogs live from my YouTube video like 3 years ago. And just like a couple videos back, I saw the man again. I almost yelled out his name, but I couldn't quite remember it. Gary. And I couldn't remember the dog's name. I think he remembered me and he said hello in the video. Hello from Michigan. It was cute. At first I didn't understand what he meant, like, yes, I'm in Michigan too. And then I realized he assumed I had international fans or interstate fans. Whatever. I mean, people don't have to know how low-key my channel is. It just doesn't matter. It is what it is. I enjoy doing it. So yeah. And maybe the reason I share these things is because I've just dealt with a lot of shame. I just saw a person of color and held up my sign, and I don't know if that's appropriate or not. And I'm laughing because I feel so awkward. I mean, who knows? Who knows what people feel? This town is a historically mostly white town, and maybe that's why it feels important to be part of a movement here. I used to feel a lot of guilt because most of my friends live in Grand Rapids, which I think about the difference in names. Like Grand Haven, it's like haven, like hiding out, and Grand Rapids, it's like rapids, like you better wear a life vest and a helmet and strap your boots on and get involved. And sometimes I love being part of Grand Rapids. The Pyramid Scheme, it's a music venue. The DAC, it's like a DIY music venue. Or even bigger, probably my biggest love affair with Grand Rapids was Lamplight Music Festival, which I either attended or performed in or even emceed at. And like, such a trajectory, like, to be a part of. And now we're friends with the organizer. And like good friends, like someone I really care about. And Brian worked on his album, and you know, and another sign, woohoo, we believe. See, like, this is heartening for me because I have been buying into the stereotypes that I sometimes hear coming out of Grand Rapids, which really I only hear from one or two people. But these stereotypes that, like, something is wrong with and or Grand Haven is like a bad place just because there's some bad people here. And, you know, there's bad people everywhere. Like, there's bad people in Grand Rapids too. There's really selfish, self-centered, hateful people in Grand Rapids. I mean, there's gentrification going on there. There's all kinds of things that are shady there, but you don't hear people as much tearing down the whole concept of Grand Rapids over those people, whereas sometimes in a small town you hear people tearing down the whole town over those people, and then it becomes very hard to put the name Grand Haven on my music page because I chose to be here because I feel something in this land. I feel something in this city. I feel something in this strange tourist town where I feel like at peace and able to be an introvert. I feel like a perma-tourist, like never quite latched on or latched in. I feel like the infighting mostly just exists on the Facebook page, and for the most part people just kind of leave each other alone here to do their lives the way they want to do their lives. And I even feel a good mix of like I never realized until recently when I was in a town that I love but is mostly for rich people, even if it's progressive rich people, I never realized how much I appreciate that Grand Haven has these like beautiful mansions, but literally 3 blocks away they have tiny houses that sell for like $100,000. Our neighbors are that, and they live 3 generations in this tiny house next door to us, and they don't mind our drums and our band practices and our house shows. We've thrown 17 house shows. Not only do they not mind, they kind of laugh. Like one of them's my piano student. Well, 2 of them are these neighbors, and they'll even be like, it's fine, you know. No, I just listen along, or hey, that sounded good. I mean, probably got louder once we added drums, but and there was definitely a phase where it got a little bit like we were doing multiple shows a month. So I imagine that got a little intense, but like to my left, I'm seeing a house there. It was just built there on the site of an old Christian Science Center. It was just torn down, I think, last year. And I mean, it looks like perfect, that house behind me. And like, those people get to exist here, very much similar to like my brother's way of living, creating wealth, building systems, maybe becoming like a VP or a CEO of something, I don't know. And like, I can't judge wealth. I cannot. Because I watched somebody with the same advantages I had, except for the fact that I was a woman and he was a man. I watched somebody build up wealth and become a partner in a consulting firm. Like, I can't judge wealth because I also watched his insane amounts of hard work. You know, here I was dealing with my trauma and my feelings and becoming a songwriter, and simultaneously he was growing a family, creating wealth, yes, but also creating opportunities for all of his kids, for all of his family, and when he was in college, he did tons of acts of charity, way more than me. So like, he may be a wealthy man now, but he's like an involved and in some ways an evolved being, but just not on the topic of feelings. No offense, Steve. I mean, actually, I've heard he takes that person. Well, feelings maybe as they relate to like business and how to manage things. Maybe we just have different perspectives on what you should do with feelings, but I don't know. Well, anyway, I see the protest. I wanted to go to my favorite little path over here on my walk there, but I see people there already. Big turnout as usual. I mean, like 100 people, but still, that's a far cry from what I thought Grand Haven was. And I think there's also a separate Black Lives Matter movement that's been organizing protests and stuff, and that's, I've been told, having hundreds and hundreds of people at it, and I just found that out last week too. So it's just important for me to know that things are complex. If I love this town, that doesn't mean I have to love everyone in it. I don't have to support or believe in all of their ways of being. Like, I don't know how to raise enough money. I don't know how to earn enough money. I don't know how to work jobs where you care about money above your own mental health or well-being or the mental health and well-being of others. I don't know how to prioritize systems that promote wealth as the most important thing and then everything downward from there. I've never been able to like start my own business very well on that regard. The closest is like running my own camps, but usually out of another location. I even struggle with just even starting the promotion 6 months or something in advance and kind of keeping your eye on the ball and remembering to check in and promote. Like, it's not my natural nature to be so organized as to build some sort of business. So I'm better if I swoop in as the talent, like at Racine Youth Players, when they just paid me $1,000 or $2,000 in the summer to just come in, teach all the parts, 300-page score for the kids and for the teens, you know. I end up learning 600 pages of music, teaching all of it to the people in the pit. There were orchestra members running those rehearsals, teaching all 600 pages worth of vocal parts to all the kids, all the actors, give them all notes, make tapes for them. I used to make tapes. I was only like 19 years old and I would like make tapes of singing parts for anyone who was struggling. And I loved it. And I got tons of positive feedback for that, because I think, and then same with when I worked at Child's Play Touring Theater, like, which is where my camps kind of grew out of, writing mini musicals from scratch with people. Got insane amounts of positive feedback because they did the structuring. They booked the school, they booked the library or wherever we did those. You know, they booked the community center, booked the time, coordinated and corresponded with the parents. They did all of that. And I just came in and wrote a mini musical from scratch with kids in 5 days. So that's my strength. I think it's important to know your strengths. I think having grown up with people very unlike me all around me, it was hard for me to find my strengths because my strengths were so different than their strengths, and I took that as a negative for a very long time. So anyway, at some point I may seek out like community centers or even like other arts organizations to see if they want to partner on the camp idea. I even invented that title. CAMP, it's an acronym, CAMMP. Create a mini musical project, create a mini musical or play. That's what the or was silent. Anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about that. Systems, wealth, living in a town that's mostly white, maybe skews a little more. I don't think this town actually does skew more wealthy. I think it's a true mix. It definitely skews white, but I don't know that it skews wealthy. I think it's fairly middle class with pockets of upper middle class and pockets of lower middle class, and just lots of coexisting. Anyway, well, here we go. I kind of want to walk up to it I've read things that say that you shouldn't sorry I had hair in my face, that you shouldn't put people who are protesting like on camera. So I want to be respectful. Yeah, what is that? Maybe 50, 75 people? Not as many as last week. The media really affects, I think, how involved people get in things. And I read somebody said that they thought the media was dying down on this topic. So, which is sad. I do hope that some solutions have come to not just that it's we care and then it dying down like school shootings were doing for the last few years. Like Anyway, part of me wants to do that at least. Yeah, that's not really well it's hard to tell when people are far away anyway. It's a lot of people for me. Like, to me, this small town of Grand Haven, it's nice to me to see people caring. Well, and it's everywhere. It's all over this town. I know that. You just have to look for it, and you have to. Yay! People believe in caring about people. I mean, it's like a sea of white people who are all saying essentially peace, and Black Lives Matter, and it needs to be said. My favorite person, she's far away right now, she's the organizer, I believe. She has a sign that says Black Lives Matter, always, and then at the bottom it says also in GH, like as in like it doesn't matter that this is a predominantly white town, like Black Lives Matter here too. And you know, especially with all the tourism that we have, like it's a very multicultural town tourism wise. Like people come from other countries. So anyway, that's my check-in video for day number 2 of this, or second time doing this. Oh, I could even just stand right here. Nah, I'll go on the official block. Alright, I gotta put my mask on. Have a good day. Bye.